Here's what not to do if you want to get better at sparring or kumite in your dojo. I'm going to give you 4 things that people do often in their kumite or their sparring that we can correct straight away. So let's get going. So I'm here with Nat Hearn today, and he's going to help me demonstrate some of the techniques and some of the things we're talking about. So I made a video recently about the use of hikite and using it as a pulling and gripping kind of technique for when you have a hold of your opponent, maybe to keep a hold of them, pull them off balance, this kind of thing. So in that, I suggested that if we have nothing in this hand, we should maintain a guard. You know, if there's nothing in it, if he's not got a grip on my collar or something like that, he needs to keep his hand up by his face. So what we often see, and it comes from the habit of using hikite all the time, is that he throws his punch to the body and then pulls his hand back. And this is obviously leaving the face open to attack. So what he wants to do then, and what we want to stop doing, is doing that hikite whilst in sparring and whilst in kumite. Like I said, the rule is if there's nothing in this hand, bring it to the face. So he comes in now, that's better. So now he's got a guard, he's covering his head, he's ready to defend himself. And he's ready to throw still. He can still throw a kizamizuki from there and continue his combination onwards. But again, I'll say it one more time, if there's nothing in your hand, don't pull it to the hip. The next common mistake is that people tend to find themselves landing inside my stance, this way. Now, there's 2 problems with that. One of them is I can take him with that ashibara, that sweep there. The second one is if he's on my inside there, my punch is much stronger from this position. He's got to cross his body to make his punch, and that's not really ideal. I've got a nice position to throw mine from because my stance is more balanced. I've got that wider position there, and I'm not punching across my body. So what you need to be doing is try to make yourself land on the outside of that stance, this way, so you're now in that advantageous position. Alternatively, if we are coming on the inside, he wants to come at me more from this angle. So he maybe breaks off and then attacks from that position there. That's better. I can't get a sweep from there. He's in a nice position to punch me, and I'm in a bad position to be throwing that punch. The next thing is that people tend to throw just single techniques. So he throws maybe his kizamizuki from there. I've defended and he's off. Maybe he's off, I can't do nothing about it, but so often people, and this is a criticism of competition karate quite often, is that they'll assume they've scored the point, so he comes in, and he thinks he scored, but he's still there for me to continue with, you know. He's lost his zanshin, lost his focus. He needs to stay in the fight, and he needs to be throwing techniques in combinations, really, because one technique is easy to defend, right? So most people can defend that single as it comes in. Most people can deal with that. You know, 2 techniques, again, not so bad, we can deal with 2. But once he starts throwing techniques in combination, it becomes a bit more of a difficult situation to deal with because you're dealing with, you know, blocking unpredictable combinations there. And also we know that the combinations set up other things, you know, so we're working on opening the body up in different positions. So, don't throw single techniques and don't celebrate early. The 4th and final one for this video is don't over bounce. Yeah, what you often see is people are bouncing too much, too high, you know, wasting loads of energy and also being unable to move quickly. We need to stay active, so we want to be kind of just touching the floor, you know, this way, just a movement here so we can switch lines and stuff very quickly, very easily. We need to be engaged with the, you know, we need to be in contact with the floor, because obviously we need the floor to move. We need to press against it and pull against it. If we come out of range, if we get out of that sort of danger zone, we can come around a little bit here, relax a bit. Then when we come in, we need to be active and ready to move. So we are, you know, reacting quickly to anything that is coming towards us. If we're bouncing, it's very easy to be, if we're over bouncing, it's very easy to be picked off. You know, he's up in the air and I can just catch him on that upward bounce. So get low into your stance and stay active. So there's 4 things you can do there to improve your kumite straight away. Thanks to Nat for joining me in this video. Go and check his channel out. I will put a link in the video description. Also, if you're after some martial arts inspired leisure and gym wear, check out Art Martial Clothing. I'll put a link down in the description for their stuff as well, and a discount code to give you 20% off. So, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Drop me a comment below. What are your problems in kumite? What do you find most difficult when you're sparring? And I'll see you in the next video.